From Lancaster Mennonite High School, it's another night of LL action here tonight on LLhoops.com. Our matchup tonight is the undefeated Columbia Tide at 10-0, 3-0, fresh off a win over Pequea Valley a night ago, taking on the host Lancaster Mennonite Blazers at 6-3, 2-0 in LL play. Eric Thomas and Warren Goodling with you here tonight. I don't know what else you can say about Columbia right now. They scored 101 points last night against Pequea Valley. I don't care what your record is, who you are, or where you're from. When you score 101 points in high school basketball, you're doing something right. How does Lancaster Mennonite slow this team down here tonight?
Well, they're going to have to eliminate turnovers, number one. And if they can get a good shot every time without a turnover, that could slow them down somewhat. But Columbia has a lot of speed, and they're going to force the tempo.
Some of the numbers that Columbia has thrown at teams this season. 38 of the 40 quarters they've played, they've scored in double figures. 14 of those quarters, including all four last night against Pequea Valley, they've been in the 20s. Last night, 28-0 to start that game against PV. 118 field goals in the last four games, including 42 a night ago. This is Loyola Marymount stuff here, if you remember back in the day.
And I really think it starts with their defense and their ability to share the basketball. And I think when you have almost like 6 or 7 guys that are averaging over 6 points a game with the leading scorer, Kerry Glover, with 15, you have good balance and you have people sharing the ball.
Yeah, don't forget Robert Footman, too, the All-State quarterback, 12.6 points a game. They have a very balanced lineup. And, by the way, the 42 field goals last night, 2 of them were three-pointers. So that tells you what they're doing, how they're attacking teams, and that they're getting to the bucket in a big way. For Lancaster Mennonite, they are 6-3. They are led by Camden Hurst. We saw him a season ago here in this very gym. He's the 4th leading scorer in the Lancaster Lebanon League. He's been in double figures in all 9 games, and he's got a couple of monster games to his credit this season, 35 against Gettysburg and 23 against Berks Catholic. It would be easy to look at this game and say that it has to really be on his shoulders to carry this team here tonight, but they're going to need everybody else to step up to help him out tonight.
Well, if it's a fast-paced game, he could still score 25, and they can still lose to Columbia. So he's going to have to play his normal, solid game, which he will, and he's going to have some help from other players.
Last game that Mennonite played, they defeated Pequea back on January 5th, 73-39. Their next game is Conestoga Valley Saturday at 2, and in that game against PV, Hurst and company, they were pretty efficient in that game. They have 4 games this season in the 60s or 70s, so you kind of figure the way this game we think might go, they're going to have to score to try to win this game here tonight. They're going to have to push this game into the 60s or 70s.
I think it's going to be definitely in the 60s, probably in the 70s. So we'll see what happens. But I think both teams are going to take the fast break when it's there, and I don't think they're going to pass up any shots if they're open.
Columbia's averaging 73.7 points per game. Mennonite 62.3. The scoring margin, though, is the big one to look at, as Columbia is beating teams by an average of 29 points and Mennonite by just 8. Mennonite's had a couple of tricky games, too, to their credit. And they played LS. They got beat by LS. But they are still in the thick of things as far as the district playoffs go. Some of the numbers that we talked about on Tuesday night during our broadcast over at Warwick have been updated since games being played the last couple of nights. But Mennonite lost to Berks Catholic. They lost to Lampeter Stroudsburg, and they lost to Gettysburg. They've won the rest of their games, including a nice win over Shippensburg, a nice win over Steel High. That Steel High team is getting better as the season goes on. We'll step aside and listen to tonight's national anthem, and then we will tip things off here from Lancaster Mennonite High School. Okay, so no anthem tonight, so we'll meet the starting lineups here for these two sides. And for Columbia, it's a high-powered one. You mentioned Glover. Footman is in there as well, but Glover averaging 15.6 a game. And this team is, I mean, they feel like they can hang with just about anybody in the league, and so far they've been able to do just that this season. Starting 5 for Columbia: Glover, Collazo, Footman, Miller, and Aiden Miller, number 25, rounds out the starting 5. They're a very deep team, so we'll see a lot of guys play for Kerry Glover's team tonight. David Weaver gets the start tonight for Mennonite, as does Deacon Hirsch. Camden Hurst, of course, everybody knows what he has been able to do this season. Jaden Taylor, and then rounding out the starting five for the Blazers is Jadon Mist. Seth Buckwater, the head coach at Lancaster Mennonite in his 4th season, 46-36 overall. Kerry Glover in his 6th season at Columbia is 78-51, including last night's rout over Peckway. For Columbia, they're going to play Berlin Brothers Valley on Saturday. That is the Class Single A runner-up from a season ago. Their schedule after tonight, it gets pretty good. They've already got wins over Susquehanna Township, DeLone Catholic, Lancaster Country Day, and York Catholic. But coming up, Berlin Brothers Valley, and then they turn right around next week and they play Trinity too. So that is a very, very big midseason showdown for this Columbia Tide team. Maybe if they're wondering where they are outside of LL, they'll get a good test when they play the Shamrocks.
Because in Section 5, you don't have the crossover games, so you have a limited number of section games. So you have to go out and get non-league games, and they go out and do a good job of getting competitive non-league games.
The tap is controlled by the Tide, as Glover has it. And right away, Footman firing a 3 short. And the rebound Hurst that is saved by the Blazers.
Yep, they didn't take long to get that first shot up, did they? Both teams started out and playing man-to-man.
See the Tide play that probably just about the whole game as the handle lost there by Mast, and that is turned over to Columbia with 7:37 to go here in the first.
Yeah, Mast came off the ball pick and tried to turn the corner and lost the ball.
Collazo, this Columbia team from a season ago lost almost 40 points in production, but their offense is better than what it was a season ago, and they went all the way to the district final last year, lost to Lancaster Catholic in a close game at Catholic, as we got a foul on the Blazers, and that the early foul will go to Jaden Taylor, his first and the first on either side.
Yep, that's going to be an interesting matchup. Taylor has the tough assignment to guard Glover tonight. And they got his first foul on him. So let's see if he keeps going at him off the dribble.
Glover drives. And we get another foul on the Blazers.
So it looks like Columbia, they're definitely going out to set ball screens for him to try to shake him loose, get some mismatches, so he can use his speed to go by somebody.
Fouls on David Weaver, his first. Right away off the inbound. Good look that time by Miller, but that is short. Blazers come away with it.
Yeah, Weaver did a nice job of getting big right there and making him shoot up over him, and then he got the rebound.
Taylor crossover, throws it right in the hands of Collazo. Collazo racing down the floor by the defender, and he lays it off the window and in.
But that's the defense we're talking about. That started with good ball pressure and then first pass denial.
First points of the night to the Tide, no surprise there. Right up in the shirt is Footman. Good approach here by Lancaster Mennonite. Work the ball around, find the open shooter as they do from the corner, no. And then Weaver throws one up, but it's off the mark.
Yeah, you got the rebound, didn't finish it.
Outlet, good step there by Taylor to pick that off.
And there's a game plan emphasis, I'm sure, of Mennonite to get back in transition.
Hurst on the drive, kicks it out. Hirsch in and out. And the rebound is controlled by Collazo. Quick down the floor goes Columbia with Miller missing the 3.
Both teams are running and looking for that jump shot off the fast break.
Defense by Glover, and he is going to get called for the foul, the first on Columbia and the first on Glover.
And they'll take the ball out the side to see if they have an out-of-bounds play to score here. They'll have a baseline screen with the big guy posting up.
Quick off the inbound. Hirsch in the corner. Hurst we saw last season here in this gym, and we were impressed with him as Mast lost the handle. Another turnover, second one by the Blazers.
It's a little bit too fast that time.
Collazo will settle things down. Miller open 3 from the corner. No. And right there, Glover finds the loose rebound and puts it in.
Ball bounced to him, and he finished it.
4-0 Columbia. We played almost 3 minutes here in the first.
And a pretty fast-paced game. Doesn't really reflect it in the scoring, but it is a fast-paced game. Both teams are going up and down. There's that ball pressure again for a deflection.
Footman
There's your fast break.
Yep.
But that all starts with the defense.
Can't allow that to happen for sure. Footman, the All-State quarterback, racing the other way and connecting. And a timeout called by Mennonite with 5:01 to go here in the opening quarter. And it's 6-0. Columbia's jumped out to the lead.
Well, when you can play defense like they do, you can get streaks of quick baskets, and that's what's happened so far.
Win Marketing specializes in digital marketing, programs that are cost-effective, reach larger audiences, have a variety of sources, measurable results. Contact Win Marketing today at 610-914-3928. Eric Thomas and Warren Goodling with you here tonight from Mennonite High School. Bruce Badgley running things for us tonight. You're watching live coverage of this early season showdown, really mid-season showdown between Mennonite and Columbia here on LLhoops.com. Our second game of the week. This will be the last one for us this week. We're back in action next Friday as LS takes on Elko, as Hurst missed that three, was partially altered. Footman the other way, and a lot of contact there, and that's going to send Footman to the line for two with 4:44 to go in the quarter. Fouls on Hurst, his first, and the third on Mennonite.
Yeah, what Columbia's doing on Hurst so far, whenever he comes off the screen, it's an early switch. So they're not letting him turn the corner because they're getting an early switch on him and making him have a, when he gets by one guy, he goes over the screen and bingo, there's the switch, and they have him guard it.
Second one by Footman is good. He's got three. It's a touchdown lead for the Tide.
And Columbia's in a man-to-man full court pressure.
I'd say all things considered. And Mennonite's got to be pretty happy, minus the turnovers. Glover has that one. Finds Colazzo to the bucket. Yep. Yes.
And again, there's the speed. We've seen this now a couple times. Turnovers into baskets.
Now they amp up the defense off the inbound. And Mennonite's going to throw it away again.
That hustle forced that turnover. So Mennonite's having a turnover problem right now.
Miles Halverson is in the game for Mennonite, number 22.
Remember, the more guys you have in the backcourt, the more opportunity you have for those traps and scrambles. So Mennonite, if they could find a guy that can bring the ball up against their matchup, that might be the way to go.
Halverson's going to pick up his first foul right away. He is the third leading scorer in this team, did not start. Mast is second to Hurst for the Blazers, as I want to go back to Mennonite with 4:07 to play in the opening quarter. And Mennonite's in desperate need of a bucket. So far in almost 12 minutes of the last two games in first quarter action, Columbia has not yielded a point. Shut out Peckway last night, 28-0 in the first 8 minutes. Inside, good find, and off the window is Hurst.
Yeah, Hurst did a nice job. Instead of going off the double screen, he sort of curled and went back door and got the ball at the paint that time. So he changed his cut that time and was able to get open. The other thing Mennonite's doing is they're giving the ball to Hurst to bring the ball up the court now. And that worked the last two times.
Colazzo adjusts his shot, kissed the front of the rim. And Mennonite with a little run here. See if they can keep the offense going. They work it inside. Weaver, good turn. He'll get the roll.
Yep. And that would be a great weapon if they can find him in there a couple times.
Well, 4-0 spurt for Mennonite, but the other way, Miller answers right back.
That was just a quick pitch off the make, and they came down looking, saying, if you don't get back on defense, we're getting a layup, and that's what happened.
3 minutes to go. It's a 7-point lead for the Tide. Post up Weaver again. Kick out, step in front by Footman. He'll race all the way to the bucket and lay it up and in.
Well, they got Weaver on the post up, but he got double teamed, and Footman rotated beautifully and got the steal, and there's another layup.
Footman's got 5 of the 13 for Columbia here in the first quarter. It's 13-4 Tide. Hurst on the drive, kick out. This defense just everywhere for Columbia, and that's the thing. You know, the offense looks great, but you said it. The defense is where it starts.
Absolutely, because their ball pressure and their deflections, they get loose balls, they fast break, and they have good spacing, and they're unselfish at the end of it. So that's the whole key to this game so far is their defensive pressure on the ball.
Dazon Gills is into the game for Columbia. Glover with it with under 2 to go now. Finds Footman inside. He lays it up and in.
That's what I'm talking about, the ability to make plays and find the open guy. It was a great – it looked like he was going to pull up for 15 foot, and he found the guy for his teammate for the layup.
43-4 in the last 2 first quarters. I just keep going back to 28-0 after 1 a night ago as Hurst is pinned up, turns it over again. Here comes Collazo racing down the floor and all the way. He's got 6, and all of a sudden it's 17-4. Mennonite did yeoman's work to get that little 4-0 run, and then all of a sudden Columbia explodes right back.
Again, there's almost another one right there. Almost another steal.
Shaky loose for the jumper is
here they
Summerall. Go. Glover, crossover. What a move by Glover to lay it up and in. 19-4 Columbia as we hit the minute mark to go in the first.
Pretty impressive showing, and you just have to watch the guy that's one pass away for Columbia. He is out looking to get the passing lane. And the ball pressure's good. That's why they're getting some steals.
Step in front of those passes, they are gone. They are not only are they good defensively, they are fast.
Very fast. Fast at all 5 positions.
Yeah.
And bring the guys off the bench, they're fast too.
Weaver fighting out of that, turns it right back over. Glover steps in the passing lane. They can hold for the final shot. You think they will? No.
I don't
Glover
think so.
He races in and scores again.
How about the left-hand finish on that drive? They could still get another shot off here if they get the steal.
Hurst all the way.
Okay, they have time. Here they come.
Down to 7 to go. Glover. Down to 4. Glover. Pull up 3-pointer on the way. In and out at the buzzer. Footman tried to tip it up and in and could not get it off balance. Well, 8 minutes in the books. 21-6. Columbia in front of Lancaster Mennonite. Impressive showing by the Tide. Once again in the first 8 minutes, another 20-point quarter for this Columbia team. And they just continue to stockpile the offensive numbers. Tonight's game is brought to you by Empire Home and Design Center. For furniture, everything for a dream kitchen, the hottest trends and styles of windows, area rugs, home office, and flooring. Empire Home and Design Center, 2741 Burnville Road in Leesport. Contact them at 610-926-0500. 21-6, Columbia. Not sure what you can really say.
Well,
I was out of things to say coming into this game.
What I'm going to say is that I keep talking about their defense, but that takes an awful lot of effort to play defense the way they're doing it. Ball pressure, 1 pass away, denial, and 2 passes away in the help side. And they've shown all 3 of those fundamentals. And they're relentless on defense. They double team the post. They do a great job of rotating off of guys to anticipate the next pass. But it's the deflections that they get, just the ball pressure, the tracing the ball and getting the deflections, then the loose ball, and then the fast break.
Certainly think about them as a favorite for the district title as Mennonite starts with it, and Shell has his shot swatted out of there. Glover will have it for the Tide. Top of the circle, Collazo. Back to Glover.
Yep. Now, this time Mennonites is forcing them to play half-court offense.
Nice move by Collazo. Leaves it short. Didn't hit anything. Hurst the other way, off balance and out of control, but they're going to say it's a blocking foul on Columbia, and that's going to send Hurst to the line for 2.
Yeah, that was a tough call for Giles. He did everything he could to try to get out of the way, but but they got him for a little block there. And, Hurst did a nice job of taking it to the basket that time.
You start thinking, we're only a couple of weeks away from the start of the LL tournament, and this team, if they continue to score at the pace and play the style that they are playing, as Hurst hits both, I don't want to play them.
I was just thinking, there's no Section 1 team or 2 team wants to play them.
No.
Okay, that's not what you want to see if on a first-round matchup in the league tournament.
Glover fadeaway. Toughest shot in basketball to defend.
It's the toughest shot to defend, but the way he faded away coming to his right hand.
Shell trying to answer with the 3, and Glover skies for the rebound. Footman. Out to the corner it goes to Diaz Ellis, but Columbia will turn it back over.
Okay, it was a good call. He made the right call. Now Diaz Ellis has come in, and the defensive pressure has not dropped off a bit with him in there.
And credit Kerry Glover, the head coach of Columbia, because he said it too, the work this team put in the offseason. This is not just show up and play.
No, absolutely. And they are totally committed to playing defense and totally committed to sharing the ball.
We got another turnover on Mennonite, so Columbia's going to get another crack at it here, 23-8. You think about the scoring punch in this conference this season, in this league. Footman off balance, and he gets that one to fall.
Well, that was, he was out there bringing it down under control, and then he just burst it with speed to the basket to finish that shot.
Hurst trying to really do what he can for his team. Gets another field goal, his third, and Seth Buckwalter's going to call another timeout with 6:14 to play, down 15. The offenses that can score in this league. Lebanon obviously is a very potent team. We saw Warwick the other night. They can score if Tate Landis, especially if Tate Landis is on. We saw Hempfield put together a pretty good performance earlier this season. Now they've kind of hit a little bit of a lull here in recent weeks. Still maybe need to see something consistently with Cedar Crest maybe, but, Catholic's not what they've been. But take your pick. Who can run with this team right now?
I don't think anybody wants to run with them. And in order to not run, you have to not turn the ball over. If you can not turn the ball over and run your offense and get some decent shots, you might be able to slow them down a little bit. But they're going to try to force the issue with their man pressure. Okay, now Mennonite is now in a zone defense. It's an extended 2-3.
Well, this is what Township played. Susquehanna Township, and Glover just attacks
Glover
it right
just
away.
gets the ball in the post and goes right to the basket. He's a point guard, but he's scoring at the rim against 5 defenders.
And that is how Susquehanna Township stayed in that game for a good chunk of it against Columbia. They played 2-3 zone almost the whole time as they feed the big guy Weaver, and he banks one in again.
And that might be an answer for Mennonite, is to get him more touches down there.
Second field goal, Mennonite gets the turnover. Little spark here by the Blazers, and we're going to get a charge called on Jaden Taylor, his second foul.
How about Footman running back on defense and taking that charge? He certainly wasn't afraid of the contact down there.
Sub in for Mennonite. It's going to be Summerall again.
Yeah, that's Taylor's second foul.
Perspiration on the floor, so they clean that up on the other end, and Diaz Ellis will do the honors. Footman, tremendous season on the gridiron for the Tide. And he has picked it up here again in the basketball portion of his athletic season, but missed that 3. Hurst the other way, and Mast off balance. High arcing shot. Good.
Really nice sort of a step-back jumper off the bounce.
Show a little double team there with Glover, too, so Mennonite's trying to amp up some defense here.
Yeah, they're going to stay in this zone and see what happens. Now, again, this has made Columbia take a couple extra passes. Normally the shot's up by now. So the zone is effectively slowed them down a little bit, which can sometimes get a team out of rhythm.
Glover, jumper.
Okay.
Weaver gets in there for the rebound.
And that worked that time. No.
And stepping on the end line there was Mast, so that'll turn it back over to Columbia as the Tide will bring in Arthur Poindexter. Number 11, Jordan Poole, is also out there for Columbia. He came out at the last stoppage as Diaz Ellis will take a seat.
So they've got about 9 guys in the game so far, right? Columbia, about 9 guys in the game so far. It looks like.
That's what we expected.
Yeah.
Footman, nice pass underneath. They get it back out to Poole.
See how that ball moves. Okay.
And Footman traveled.
Yep.
Well, that's the other thing that we're seeing early on here. This is not to take anything away from Mennonite, because this Mennonite team is certainly going to be a contender, but we're seeing it's not just the scoring for Columbia. We're seeing them do so many things right on the floor. Right. Offense, defense, stepping in front of passes, moving without the ball, anticipating the next move. This is a very well-schooled team as Hurst drives again. They keep it alive and kick it out, and draining the three is Summerall. Yep. Man, did Mennonite need that one.
Yeah, they've got within 10 now, but they're going to stick in this zone. This pace now has favored Mennonite the last couple minutes, and because of this zone.
Glover found some room, kicks it out. Collazo three-pointer on the way, yes.
That's an answer, though. How about that? And he's got 13 threes on the year, so that was his 14th three of the year. So he's been out. He can shoot it out there.
Good drive, baseline that time by Mast. Couldn't connect. Outlet pass, Collazo. They somehow found it, and swatting that away is Hurst. Great recovery defense by Hurst.
Yep, nice play by Hurst.
And the other way, we got a foul on Columbia. Summerall was pinned up against the baseline.
If Mennonite can keep this at 10, they're down 13. If they can get it to 10 or 9 going into halftime, they'd have to feel pretty good about their comeback here.
Well, they certainly have a guy who has the ball right now that can light it up at any time. There is no question that Hurst, if called upon, can score as Weaver finds him underneath. Good positioning by Hurst.
And that's just a great set play where they bring everybody foul line up and they let Hurst look like he's going off the double, and then he curl cuts into the paint. That's the second time they ran that little set, and they get him at the bucket because there's no help down there.
Down to 11. 2:43 to go in the first half. Mennonite has battled here in this first half as Footman steps inside the free throw line. That one is altered. Mennonite a chance to cut it into
Weaver
single
got
digits.
the block, okay.
And again, Mast on the sideline, stepped out of bounds.
Stepped out of bounds. A little ball pressure there by Poindexter, doing a nice job keeping the ball in front of him, putting a little pressure on him, forced that turnover.
2.5 to go. Now Seth Buckwalter certainly saw something from Susquehanna Township with that zone as they turn it over again. Miller that time, giving it away.
Yeah, the zone just forces you to make a couple extra passes. And then if you get a bucket or two down at this end, which now they're getting.
They are getting him as Summerall drains another one.
Yep.
Down to 8.
And you got Weaver in the middle of the zone, who's about 6'6", 6'7".
Footman trying to split everybody, and he will.
That's what he did. He just went right down the gut and finished it.
He is having a monster first half for Columbia. 11 points, but answering the other way is Summerall once again.
Yep, and that time nobody had him, and he just made, 3 in a row now?
3 threes in the quarter, and it's 32-25, so down to 7 with 1:36 to play till halftime.
So we've been saying the praises of Columbia, but let's recognize Mennonite for the adjustments they made. Big adjustment, I think, started on defense, playing the zone. Down here on offense, just finding the open man, and Summerall coming in and hitting some threes.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Hearts Physical Therapy, a locally owned independent outpatient physical therapy clinic with 5 convenient locations in Lancaster County. They specialize in orthopedic, rehabilitation, aquatic therapy, post-surgery, sports injuries, and vestibular therapy. Unparalleled patient outcomes and an average net promoter score of 95 reflect their unwavering commitments to their patients. It is your choice where to go for physical therapy. Experience the difference Heart's physical therapy can make in your recovery. 1:25 to go in the first half. Glover fires the three. Can't get the roll, and the rebound's going to go out of bounds back to Columbia with 1:21 to play in the half.
So Columbia's looking to get a little bit of confidence against this zone here. They've got an inside bucket on the Footman drive, and then they have a Collazo three-pointer.
Glover and Footman, they play pitch and catch. Collazo camping out on the wing, fires the three and hits it.
Nice play that time by Columbia. They got the ball into the mid-post, and it looked opposite and found him for the three-pointer.
And he's hit 2 in the quarter as well. Takes it back to a 10-point lead with 55 seconds to go. Inside to Weaver, off balance, and he'll shoot a pair.
Yeah, the last couple of times Weaver's had one-on-one down there, and he's attacked the basket. They're trying to take away his left hand in there, so he shot it right-handed. Got fouled and goes to the foul line and knocks that one down.
Foul was on Aiden Miller, his first. Weaver's got 5 tonight. And make it, no, stay at 5. But the rebound, controlled by the Blazers. Summerall, who's been hot. Another one, no. Glover, the rebound. Outlet pass, Summerall steps in front of that.
Good hustle by Summerall.
Yep, tried to save it from going out of bounds, but it'll go back to Columbia with 43 seconds to go in the quarter. And you know, the other thing about Mennonite is when Columbia was making their run there, midway through that first and into the early part of the second, just no panic out of them either. They just stayed within themselves.
They really did. And that, I think that starts with Coach Buckwater. He was cool and calm over there and got them to execute some of their little plays to get Hurst the ball. And then Summerall, they found Summerall for some shots. So they've had some good balance in coming back on their scoring.
43.2 to go till halftime. 35-26 Columbia. Certainly not the coast that it was a night ago when they defeated Peckway Valley 101-35 and led that game 58-14 at the half. Footman open for 3, off balance or off the mark, no, and the rebound. Run down by the Blazers. Outlet pass to Hirsch. A nice give back to Summerall, who is fouled.
Very nice play now.
And Summerall will shoot a pair.
And, you know, Mennonite, with this little run, you're seeing why that, you know, they're a contender for Section 5, and also they won't be an easy out in the LL playoffs. Considering if Mennonite and Columbia both make it in Section 5.
And Summerall gets the roll. Got both. He's having a big quarter. It's down to 7 again. There's just 25 seconds to go till halftime. Glover, Collazo. They find Footman back to Glover. Looks like they'll just hold for the final shot. Down to 15 seconds to go in the half. Glover decked out in those gold Kobe's as finds Footman again. They keep playing pitch and catch up top. Down to 5. Collazo, Glover going to take a deep 3. No, and the rebound into the hands of Hurst. And that is how the half will end. So, Columbia makes a big run late in the first, into the second. Lancaster Mennonite withstands that, and they have kept this to within 7 here at the half at 35-28.
Yeah, when they were down big, it was like if you get it under 10, that's like a good mental boost for the halftime. They've got it to 7, so they're definitely in this ball game. And I think you're going to see them stick in that zone in the second half.
We will take a timeout. When we come back, we'll add up the halftime statistics for you, and we'll get you set for the second half. It is a 7-point lead for Columbia. You're watching live coverage of Section 5 Hoops on LLhoops.com. Halftime here at Lancaster Mennonite High School. It's Columbia with a 35-28 lead over Lancaster Mennonite, as we saw a pretty good first half there by Columbia, but then a good response by Mennonite in that second quarter. We'll go over the scoring numbers for you here in a second. Want to remind you that our next broadcast of LLhoops comes your way Friday night, January 21st. We got a pretty good one that night, as we'll be down in LS again when Elko visits, so that'll be a pretty good matchup. Yep. And then after that, January 28th, Cacalico at Garden Spot. And then we finally get a crack at Cedar Crest coming up on February 4th. And then after that, it'll be on to the semifinals. We may have a couple of other LL tournament games for you, too. Just keep it tuned to LLhoops.com for all that information. Scoring in the first half for Mennonite, they were led by Sumrall, who hit 3 threes in the second quarter. He finished with 8 points in that, or rather 11 points in that quarter. And he leads the team. Camden Hurst has 10. David Weaver has 5. Jaden Mast has the other 2. For Columbia, it was very balanced, as it has been all season long. Javon Colazzo has 12. Robert Footman with 11. Kerry Glover with 10. And Aiden Miller has the other 2. 22-14 Mennonite in that second quarter. And we got a 7-point game as we start the third.
Well, when you think of these programs, both of them are used to winning. Both of them are expecting to go deep into district playoffs and into the state playoffs this year. And when Mennonite got down, they just responded like a champion would. They just bounced up and they made it a competitive game. And now it's anybody's ball game, really. So it's going to be interesting. We always say the first 4 minutes of the third quarter can set the tone. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, you do like to say that, as Columbia will have things here to start the second half. Glover, and we get a little offensive foul on Aiden Miller. That's his second, and we're not even 10 seconds into the second quarter, or the second half, and already Columbia's got a foul.
Well, he came out and set a ball screen, and when you set a ball screen, let the dribbler use the screen. Don't move, because a lot of referees, when you're especially out there in the front, you're out in the open, and the referees will call that.
Columbia's got a knack for big quarters. Let's see if they can put one together here. As driving to the bucket is Mast, and he missed that. Sumrall, or rather Mast, got the rebound. Loose on the floor. Glover comes away with it. Columbia runs the other way. Glover to the bucket, scores, basket counts, and a foul.
Well, the key for Columbia getting out to the first lead in the first quarter, turnover, fast break bucket. That's how they start the second half.
Glover has 12 now to tie the team lead with Colazzo. And give him 13.
Back up to the 10-point lead.
Yep. Hirsch. It's the starting 5 for each side. They go inside to Weaver, give him a touch early on. Taylor drives, lost total control right in the hands of Glover. Columbia comes away with it. Other way, the tie. Glover off balance, and he'll shoot 2 more.
And this is how the game started. 2 possessions for Mennonite, 2 turnovers. And Columbia, there they go. They're running the other way, getting to the get to the rim and to the basket.
Glover, before tonight, was 19 of 33 on the season. Made his first, just missed the first of these 2.
Yeah, Columbia as a team was shooting about 66%, 67% from the foul line, which really has been one of the better team foul shooting percentages that we've seen so far.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that on Tuesday night at Warwick, with Warwick and some of their issues that they have had. But it seems like the teams that are winning games in this league this season, some of them have had some trouble, as Glover again is going to draw the contact for the 3rd time already in less than a minute.
Yeah, you'd like to see your team shoot, 68, 70% from the foul line. If you have a team over 70%, that's outstanding. But when it gets under 60, that makes you a little nervous when you get in some close games.
What I want to see this Columbia team go through, and we saw a little bit of it in that second quarter, is I want to see them take some punches. I want to see them, like you're saying about the free throw shooting, I want to see somebody either score with them or kind of clamp down on them and force them to have to really play a different style of basketball. And so far, nobody this season has been able to do it.
Well, nobody's been able to eliminate the turnover against them, and that's what really makes them go.
And Mennonite's certainly making an effort out of it here as Weaver keeps that alive for the Blazers. And we get the call from the other way, so it's going to stay with Mennonite with 6:38 to go. It's a 12-point lead for Columbia.
Yep, the referee let them play on that one. There was a little contact. The ball went out of bounds. He gave it to Mennonite.
Weaver off the inbound, and Miller sticks his hand in there. Weaver has to go up near half court to get it. Little push off, no call. Probably a good no call. Mass, good drive, finds Hurst. They whip it around. Summerall, foul line jumper on the way is good.
Yeah, nice job, nice ball movement, but a nice little one-on-one move there by Summerall.
You can almost call that good as soon as he shoots it. Collazo the other way, no, and the rebound Mast. Mast racing down the floor as it go off his foot. Turns it back over, Glover. Glover going 1-on-2 to the bucket, and Glover lays it up and in.
Yeah, just the speed and total body control and speed. He saw that opening, he gets a layup.
Coach's son, and those two are in sync with one another big time. The leader on this team as they try to feed Weaver underneath. Off of Mennonite, so back to Columbia with 5:46 to go in the third. Taylor will come back out for the Blazers in place of Mast.
So as we see, Columbia just forces you to speed up. Okay, they're not giving up many. Their recovery on defense is incredible. They don't give up a whole lot of open shots other than a missed assignment here. Now Mennonite's back in the 2-3 zone. They started out this quarter man-to-man. They're back in the 2-3 zone.
Had a lot of success with that in the second. Glover drives. And the stick back, no. And again, the rebound and put back. That is by Miller.
Miller just nice second effort on that rebound. He missed the first one, got the second one, and put it right back up.
His first points of the night. Tough drive by Hurst, and he is fouled. Hurst is doing what he can here. He's trying to basically will his team, but he's got a good counterpart in Summerall.
Summerall's really helped him out tonight. Now Hurst is getting tremendous defensive focus, so when they're not going to give him the open shots, so he has to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket, and that's what he's doing. He's doing a good job of that.
Clangs the first. Hurst with a solid first half at 10. Gets the second. 5:05 to go. Glover the other way, out of control and an offensive foul. You see Kerry Glover on the other side, the coach, telling his team to pick up the pace a little bit here. It's a 13-point lead for the Tide. They have led the entire time tonight. Taylor, tough take. Weaver tried to tip it up and in, got the rebound, lost it, and we're going to have an offensive foul. It's going to be on Weaver. It's an over the back on Weaver. Maybe.
I didn't see it. Did you? I mean, the guy's 6'8". I mean, he's allowed to get a rebound there. That's the way I look at it. I didn't see that one.
Entry pass. Miller finds Collazo. Glover. Look at the ball movement by Columbia. As Footman. Nice jumper by Footman.
Yeah, he's really impressed me tonight with his overall game. He can, again, score at all three levels. He can shoot the three, medium jumper, get to the rack.
Taylor elbow jumper, short. Rebound Collazo. 4:15 to go in the third. It's a 46-31 advantage for Columbia. Collazo three-pointer. No, Footman tipped it. Loose ball controlled by Summerall. Summerall's got a 1-on-3. He's going to slow it up.
Pulled up, see if he wants to throw it inside. There he goes.
They do dump it inside to Weaver. Good positioning. Weaver turns. Altered that time. Rebound Miller. Glover explodes through the lane. Nifty move, but he leaves it off the back part of the rim. It rolled all over the entire iron as Hurst the other way finds Taylor, waits, banks it in.
That's a nice pass by Hurst. Really nice interior passing.
Jaden Taylor gets on the board the first time. Hurst with a steal. They save it. Hirsch has it. He goes up to Summerall. Summerall will pull up from inside the three-point arc. Missed that one. Miller with the rebound, and he is harassed and fouled by Summerall. It's a 13-point lead for Columbia with 3:21 to go in the third. And we are going to get a timeout, it looks like. Let's see.
I think they just made some substitutions.
Might have a timeout. That foul was actually on Hurst. His second. That was not on Summerall.
Okay. All right, now Mennonites back to playing man-to-man.
Coming up on 3 minutes, Collazo drives in traffic, and that's out of bounds. It'll stay with the Tide.
Well, we know one thing. If this was a track meet, Columbia would probably win the LL League as far as pure speed goes, don't you think?
No, I don't think there's any question about that.
Because they have pure speed at every position.
Miller is fouled, so he'll shoot two. This game has just, for a brief minute, it had the pace that Columbia likes to have it at, but it seems like for the almost the entire duration, it's been at the pace that Mennonite wants it at.
Yeah, after that first quarter, they've gone down to a slower pace because they've mixed up some zone. I still think the zone slows you down a little bit.
It's a 13-point lead as Miller misses the first, and it doesn't even feel like that. It feels like this is like a 3 or 4 point lead at the moment,
right.
And it's almost like Mennonite could just, get a spurt and maybe string 2 or 3 buckets in a row together again as Miller makes the second. It just doesn't seem at this moment that it's insurmountable. Hurst uses that screen.
And Columbia does a nice job of switching on ball screens and also some screen aways. They'll do a lot of switching.
Glover crossover. Look at the move by Glover. Scores, but they're going to get him for the charge. Second foul on Glover with 2:34 to go in the third.
Yeah, it's a tough call because he went sideways to avoid the charge. To me, that I would like to see just play on that one.
.225 to go. Mennonite can cut this down to as little as 11 on this possession. They ideally would love to have this thing in single digits again going to the fourth as Taylor drives. Do they give him the net? They'll stay on the floor,
yep.
So Mennonite will inbound. Taylor off the inbound, and he traveled. Jordan Poole is back in for Columbia. He'll take the place of Footman with 2:12 to play in the quarter.
See, that call there, that's the most missed call sometimes by officials. They call it travel. When a guy, he's got his 1 foot down, he's a little off balance on his other foot, but he just jab steps his other foot a couple times, they call it travel. I didn't really think that one was a travel.
Uncontested by Glover is good, and it's up to 17.
Well, Glover's gone to the basket so much that he got some room to shoot the three, and he showed you he can do that.
Mast trying to make something happen against Glover and leaves it off the front of the rim.
Nice rebound by Giles.
And a pull-up by Glover again. It's going to roll off the top of the backboard. And his dad just looks at him and says, son, chill.
Yeah. You got the green light, but chill a little bit, okay? But he was feeling it. He made the three, and he said, you know what, I'm not going in and getting a charge. I'm going to pull up from 15 feet. I can do that too. But the greatest thing about the young man is he's now in the defensive stance.
Love to be in those car rides on the way home as Hurst drives and
Nice block by Giles.
It really was, as Collazo comes away with it with 1:17 to go in the quarter. 17-point lead for Columbia. Nifty handle by Glover. Matched up with Hurst, and a hand check by Hurst is going to be his third foul.
Yeah, that was a little maybe a frustration foul because his last drive, he got some contact going in. I thought Giles might have made a good block, but he might have got some contact on the side. So I understand how that works.
Glover a chance here at the line again. First one is good.
Now, when you watch Columbia play, you don't look at any of their players and say, well, you don't really want him to handle the ball because they all seem to handle it pretty nicely. And they get rid of it when they should. They don't overdo it.
Yeah, they're a very well-balanced, well-put-together team.
Like I'm looking at their team saying, suppose they had a close game and they had to spread the floor and you had to go chase them. How's that going to work?
Not very well.
No, I don't think so. I think that their speed will go by you. So you almost have to go into a zone trap, but then you leave so many gaps for them to just drive through the basket. So it'd be interesting to see how they do on a delay game. I don't think we'll see it tonight at this point, but
Diaz-Ellis is back out there. Hurst drives, and the offensive foul is going to wave off the bucket. 51.5 to go in the quarter.
And Coach Buckweiler, he doesn't like that call, and I understand that. That's usually a 50-50 call. Sometimes it's not.
Collazo pull-up three-pointer, no. Giles had the rebound, but run down by Mast the other way, and he lays it in.
Nice job by Mast. Showing his ability to run the floor and his quickness, his ability to finish.
There's that frenetic pace, but they turn it over again as Summerall comes away with it. Up ahead it goes. Mast lays it up and in again.
And Mennonite showing they can play at this place, and they're speeding Columbia up now.
Miller the other way,
wow,
all the way to the bucket.
Little inside out with the shoulder. He had the room. He said, I'm taking this one to the rack, and he did.
5 seconds to go in the quarter. Hurst gives it up. Can he get it back? He does. He fires at the buzzer. Got it! Camden Hurst. A buzzer-beating three cuts this down to 13 as we go to the fourth quarter with Columbia in front, 53-40. So a little spurt there by Mennonite at the end of the quarter. And I know a lot of times you'd say it's 13, but it's 13. They got a shot here. Tonight's game is brought to you by the law office of Stephen W. Grosh. When courtroom experience and advocacy matters, we stand by you in your time of need, proudly serving Lancaster County for 15 years. Eric Thomas and Warren Goodling with you here tonight at Lancaster Mennonite High School. Tonight's game is also brought to you by the Stephen E. Lewis Agency. Parents, if you have children who are driving or getting ready to drive, Lewis Agency is here to help. Call the Stephen Edward Lewis Agency in Millersville to find out how they keep your costs low and help teach your children how to drive safer with the nationwide Smart Ride program. This program includes accident forgiveness, so if your new driver does have an accident, you won't lose your insurance or suffer an expensive rate surcharge. Please contact the Stephen Edward Lewis Agency for additional information. That's in the 717 area code at 872-2466. So, we go to the fourth quarter, and it is Columbia with the lead. That is not the surprise. The surprise is that Mennonite, down by 13, they are still very much in this game.
Very much. And they were down by 18 just a while ago, and they came right back to cut it to 13.
Taylor, no! Weaver, yes! They're going to wave it off.
They're going to wave that off. They're going to give, I think, somebody a foul shot. They didn't count that, did? No, they didn't. Okay, so Taylor drove in. Weaver got the follow-up shot, but they called a foul when Taylor shot the ball. So he'll go to the line for two.
Taylor's first is good. We talked about Mast tonight. He has started to pick it up a little bit here in the second quarter, the second half. Second leading scorer in this team, and he just has 6, but that ball out of bounds is going to stay with Mennonite, so they'll get another crack at it here, 14 seconds into this final frame.
A good play by Mass that time to come and keep the ball alive, and it went off the Columbia guy.
Weaver off the inbound. Summerall, who had the red-hot hand in the first half. Second quarter, most of his damage done there. Mast drives. Hirsch. Hirsch at the elbow, trying to find somebody. Gets it off to Taylor.
A little 4-round-1 motion. Now they go into the post.
Weaver gets the roll.
Nice job. Nice job.
Down to 10 with 7:16 to play. Game still very much in the balance here. Does Mennonite have a run all the way as Collazo drives? No, and Weaver gets the rebound, but stolen right back by Poole, and he lays it in.
Wow, what a great play by Poole.
A good time for his first bucket of the night. Mass the other way finds Taylor stripped. Here comes that Columbia defense again. So good in the first half. Mennonite makes their little run. Now Glover, no, Mass the rebound. 6:40 to go. Mennonite's trying to push one last time as Mass, the nifty adjustment, can't get that to fall. Glover to Diaz-Ellis to the bucket.
Diaz-Ellis, nice move. Pump fake, saw the opening, took it to the rim.
57-43 with 6:15 to play. Touch inside to Weaver again, and he is contacted and draws the foul.
Yeah, a little too aggressive that time on the double team.
It's Weaver at the line, where he is 1 for 2 tonight. And make that 1 for 3. Diaz-Ellis the other way, throwing one up, and he is fouled.
Well, Coach Glover says, no, okay, make the foul shots. I think he wanted him to pull that one out that time. But he took a nice drive to the basket, got fouled, and let's see if he can make 2.
Still plenty of time to go in this game. 6:06 remaining.
Nice looking stroke.
Diaz-Ellis, who has 3 tonight, one of the key reserves in this team, averaging 8 points a game. Makes both. 16-point lead again. And this is about the area where Mennonite would make its run, but time might be running out a little bit.
Yeah, they're fighting the clock now, so they got to make a run, and they got to stick with it now. Down 16, they can't afford not to score in this possession.
Hirsch, little floater, got his own rebound. That one's kicked out of there by Collazo. Stays with Mennonite with 5:44 to go.
Yeah, Hirsch went down the lane, shot a little lefty runner, missed it, got a nice rebound.
And Weaver wrestling that away from Giles, and he'll throw it up. No, rebound Glover. Now Columbia will pull it back here with 5.5 to play.
Okay, here's what we were talking about earlier. They're going to spread the floor a little bit. Just keep it wide. Oh, I thought they were.
Well,
whoa.
Yeah, in and out.
I thought they were going to run a little clock here, but Giles says, no, I can make this.
Hirsch hands it off to Taylor with 5:10 to go. Mast, foul line, hard screen by Weaver as Collazo hits the deck. In the corner, it is Hirsch who knocks down the 3.
Well, again, big 3 there, and I got it to 13. So see if they can get a stop here.
4:50 to go as Poole can't connect on that. Weaver tries to save it, gets it into Giles, and he traveled. So Mennonite's going to get it back with 4:46 to go as Summerall will check back in place of Taylor. Again, Summerall has 13. He hit 3 threes in the second quarter. Footman and also Braylon Miller will come back in for Columbia. Diaz-Ellis and Poole, nice minutes off the bench tonight for the Tide.
Yeah, really good minutes off the bench. Doing a nice job off the bench. No drop off.
Hirsch, who hit that three a moment ago, inside to Weaver. Spins, Weaver, no. Trying to one-hand his own rebound. Glover speeds down the floor the other way. Adjustment, off the window, no. Footman tip, no. Miller rebound. Miller wrestles it out of there.
Wow, what a rebound by Miller, huh?
That really was. As the pass inside to Footman, no. Miller is there, but Weaver fouls him. And Weaver's got his fourth. Got to keep the big guy out there as Miller hits the first.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough call on the big guy because he's just going straight up in there, and the offensive player drew the foul jumping into him.
Over the rebound off the miss. Footman. And a timeout call by Kerry Glover. And Columbia, it's a full timeout with 4:12 to go.
Yeah, good timeout by Coach. I think he wants to just get them on the same page.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Dan Taylor. Family Law. Is your will, durable power of attorney, and living will up to date? If not, you should see LLhoops.com sponsor Daniel K. Taylor. Dan can be reached at 717-945-6212 or see his ad on our website. He can initially speak to you over the phone or meet in his Lancaster office. Home appointments are available for the disabled. Tonight's game is also brought to you by H&L Team Sales. H&L Team Sales provides uniforms, team shops, and other clothing equipment to schools and teams throughout the LL, York, and Berks regions. Contact H&L at 717-392-3010 or online at www.hlteamsales.com. Eric Thomas, Warren Goodling with you tonight. Bruce Badgley running the show for us on LLhoops.com. We'll be back with you next Friday night as we go back down to LS, as Elko and LS will do battle, and that'll be a fun one. Another opportunity to see the other explosive offense in the LL and LS, and we saw them a couple weeks ago against Mannheim Central. Won that one somewhat convincingly, and then since that point, Mannheim Central has been on fire. I mean, throw a dart right now. There's no clear-cut favorite in Section 1. 2 is certainly up for grabs, although I think Warwick is got a beat on that. But, we'll see what happens when they meet up with Lebanon again.
Well, Lebanon, I think, is undefeated in this section, right?
They are, yes.
So E-Town's still hanging around. They'll have a big game at Township after Cedar Crest beat them last night.
Saved by Collazo, and Glover is going to keep it alive for Columbia as we're down to 3:51 to go.
Look at that
nice
interior
find.
passing, huh?
Aiden Miller, the beneficiary of that, and it's 62-46. Mass drive, swatted out of there by Footman. Glover, now Collazo, one-on-one the other way with Summerall. Collazo missed it, and Summerall the rebound. Good backdoor pass. They work it around. Hirsch is open for three. Got it.
Yep. Nice pass by Mask. And, Mennonite showed us a lot in this game.
I agree with you.
They got down early, 21-6, but they played pretty even the rest of the game.
Miller step through, off the window.
Yeah, step through, but the ability to rise up and get up in the air and finish at the basket was huge.
Mast almost got away with a travel. Throws it right in the hands to Summerall of Collazo, but he gets it back, and then Footman's going to kick that one away. Section 3, what would you say about that right now?
Section 3, LS, right?
Yeah, we would think so anyway.
Yep.
A lot to be, we say there's a lot of there is a lot of basketball to play.
Lot,
there's only 4 weeks left in the regular season, though, so not a lot of time, but there's a lot of games to be
a lot of games
crammed in there.
And big games. And every game, the crossover games in the upper sections are huge now.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Spooky Nook. And Spooky Nook's the leader for all your basketball needs, everything from tournaments, leagues, camps, and personal training. Find it at Spooky Nook. Our good friend Jim Shipper doing yeoman's work down at the Nook when he's there.
Yep, certainly have a lot of things going on at the Nook.
2:48 to go in this one, 64-49. Yeah, and then you go to Section 4 after that, and Section 4 at the moment I don't quite know what you say about that one either. Lebanon, Warwick in 2-1, Cedar Crest maybe. I still think Hempfield's going to be a big factor in that one.
Absolutely, and they have 2 games coming up, Warwick and Lebanon, and that's certainly going to grab their attention. I think you'll see that focus team there Friday night.
Certainly LS in Section 3, and then you got Columbia in 5 right now as the front runner, and they are staking their claim to that for sure tonight, trying to stay undefeated here with 2:35 to go. Tricky schedule coming up for the tie. We talked about it. Berlin Brothers Valley on Saturday, Trinity next week. And if you've paid any attention to the Mid-Penn, that Trinity team is really starting to catch a little fire here in the second half of the season. As Mast has an open 3, no. Nice fine Mast reverse, and he is fouled.
Well, I mean, Columbia's done a nice job of going out and getting some good games in their non-league schedule. And they have a lot of, like I said before, they have a lot of non-league games because they only have the section games that count on their league record. So they're definitely preparing for the postseason.
Mast hits the first.
Looks like we got a little offense and defensive substitution now here for Mennonite.
Short on the second by Mast. Loose ball picked up by Taylor.
Taylor, nice play, nice left finish.
64-52, so it's down to 12 again as Colazo makes it 14.
He just took that right to the rim at the big guy. Adjusted his body in the air and finished.
Good find, Hirsch, and he gets
nice
the roll.
Nice pass by Taylor to Hirsch with a nice finish.
1:45 to go. Miller finds Poole on the baseline. Pull back up top to Glover. They'll slow things down as Footman gets the touch with 1:37 to go. Colazo, and he is fouled.
Yeah, I think when you see it, Columbia spreads the floor a little bit. They're still attacking for layups. They still want to get a layup off of that.
Trying to get to that 70-point plateau. They averaged 73.7. They dropped 101 last night. As Colazo can't get that one to roll. In case you missed our beginning of our broadcast, you can always go back and watch all the archives on our YouTube page. But, we may have mentioned that 101-point plateau last night a time or two.
Yeah, they should go get a little rest tomorrow after the last 2 nights.
And Colazo's second is good. 67-54, Hirsch to Mast. Mast off balance. Got his own rebound, threw it right to the official. Going to be tipped by Columbia, so it'll stay with Mennonite with 80 seconds to go.
Yeah, good effort by Mast. He missed, made a tough, took a tough shot, but got his rebound.
For Mennonite.
Nice pass by Weaver, huh?
It is, and he will score once again. He's having a good night.
Yep, Mast, nice cut, but a nice pass by the big post player.
It's not going to be enough, though, as there's 1:15 to go, and it's 11, so there's a lot that's going to have to happen here in the next 1:15. Don't want to necessarily say it's over, but Seth Buckwater is going to try to extend this game as much as he can. For Mennonite after tonight, Conestoga Valley on Friday, then Lancaster Country Day, Peckway Valley, and then they play Trinity on January 24th. The rematch with Columbia will come your way on February 7th as Weaver hits the free throw, so it's down to 10. And the run out, and Miller missed the layup. Poole tried to throw it back up there, and is fouled. Then Mennonite will finish the season with Annville, Halifax, the Columbia rematch, and then they'll play Lancaster Catholic on February 8th. And Catholic not what they were a season ago when they beat this Columbia team for the district title. They are struggling right now. believe Catholic is at 3-7 overall.
Yeah, that's unusual, but high school basketball, you have a year or so like that. Maybe he can get a way to pull him over 500 and go from there.
Pull gets them both. 69-57. Nice move by Mass to score again.
Nice pass by Hurst. Hitting the cutter down the middle.
Glover the other way. Glover is fouled. So it's down to 10 with 56 seconds left. Kerry Glover's going to tell his team, play smart these next 56 seconds as that foul is on Mass. That's his second.
Yeah, what Coach Glover wants, he wants them to force Mennonite to make a couple passes before they take a shot, not those clean drives to the basket. Take a little time off the clock by playing some defense.
Glover makes the second. And the other way, it's Hurst. So 9-point game here with 50 seconds left is, again, Seth Buckwater and Mennonite. Their job now is to try to extend this as long as they possibly can.
Yeah, there was a number of times looks like Columbia's going to win by, 18 or 20. Mennonite comes storming right back.
Tonight's game brought to you by Hannah Spiro, State Farm Insurance, located in Lebanon County. Our mission is to enhance the quality of life for others through the offering of insurance and financial services, products, and providing outstanding customer service to show our appreciation to them. Call Hannah for quotes at 717-274-3822. 50.7 seconds left. And it is Columbia with the 9-point lead. And they have the ball, trying to salt this thing away and stay undefeated. Going to foul down the floor.
Let's see if Columbia can knock them down from the foul line now. 2 shots takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Colazzo's first. No good.
All right. See what happens now. Maybe he got that one out of the way.
Trying to make it a 10-point game again. So it's really, with 47 seconds left, it's just a 3-possession game, which might seem almost impossible, but it's not, as Colazzo makes the second. Mennonite does not need a 3. Mass, the reverse layup is good, and he's fouled.
Yep.
They'll have a chance for a 3-point play and to score with the clock stop with 41.1 seconds left. That only took 6 seconds to get down the floor and score.
Yep, and see that time, Columbia, they pressured the ball outside the 3-point line a little bit too much, and Mass is quick enough to go by you, and that's exactly what he did. You don't have to shoot threes all the time. Here's a traditional 3-point play if he makes it, but he missed it.
And a lane violation.
Okay.
And we'll get a timeout called here, it looks like, by Mennonite. 30-second timeout with 41.1 to go. So this next 41.1 is going to take it probably about 3 minutes.
Yeah, because Mennonite's going to foul right away,
Yep.
Okay, if they can. That's their only chance. They can't let Columbia come down and take time off the clock, so they're going to get it in. And let's see if Columbia sets something up to go over top, if the Mennonite's going to play man-to-man up in the backcourt. Okay, so Columbia has everybody. They have a 4. It looks like a 4 across. Now Mennonite has a shortstop, so they have a safety valve. They have safety valve covered the long one.
Glover is fouled from behind by Shell. .39.3, so that took less than 2 seconds. It's academic if Columbia hits the free throws. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yep, they can salt the game away by making their foul shots. Here's one. .72-63. As Summerall's back in. So Seth Buckwater doing the offense for defense substitutions. And Glover goes 1 for 2. Weaver the rebound. So still a shot here as Glover steals that one, goes right by everybody and lays it in. And that probably did it, yep.
11 as Hirsch shakes loose. Back to Hurst. Three-pointer on the way, in and out. Rebound tipped around. Collazo ahead. Glover will just take it all the way, lay it up and in again. And Summerall fires a three. He's had a good night. Glover will just run things out here with 5 seconds to go. Mast will show a little foul, then back off. It's going to be a 10-point win for Columbia, 76-66. And they will stay undefeated at 11-0 and stay atop Section 5 at 4-0. Lancaster Mennonite's going to fall to 6-4 overall and 2-1 in the section play. We'll add up the final numbers for you. Kerry Glover's going to be our player of the game tonight. Some final thoughts from you, Coach, about what we saw here tonight from both sides.
Well, I think, Mennonite, they did a nice job of hanging in there when they get off to such a slow start. It was 21-6 at the end of the first quarter. But they showed that they have the ability to hang in there with Columbia as they came in the last 3 quarters, played it pretty evenly. Columbia showed just a lot of speed, though, and every time Mennonite cut it down, they widened the gap again. So both teams are going to be in the postseason.
Yeah, both teams definitely will be in the postseason for sure, and we'll see what this Columbia team can do the rest of the way as they stay undefeated. We're working out getting our player of the game interview up here, and we'll have that for you momentarily. Final scoring numbers for you here tonight. First for Mennonite, as they were led tonight by 2 players. Summerall off the bench had 16. Hurst had 16. 11 for Jaden Mast. 10 for David Weaver. 8 for Deacon Hirsch. And 5 for Jaden Taylor. For Columbia, our player of the game, Kerry Glover, he's going to come up here with us. 27 points tonight to lead everybody. And Javon Collazo had 16, 13 for Robert Footman, 8 for Breland Miller, and then 4 apiece for Jordan Poole, Dominic Diaz Ellis, and Aiden Miller. And we're getting everything worked out here as we're going to bring in Kerry for our post-game comments. Sir, I got to, first of all, commend you for the choice of footwear tonight, because I myself love the Kobe's.
Thank you.
So nice job tonight. This team now, you're 11-0,
yeah,
and you got pushed here a little bit tonight. Mm-hmm. So you have to be pretty pleased with how you guys reacted. You know, you made your big run. They kind of hung in there, and then they made their push. You guys got a little bit tested here tonight.
Yeah. I think one of the things was in the second half, they were pushing the ball, and we were a lot fatigued because most of our starters were still on. But I think we just, once we played together, once we sat back in our zone, it kind of helped us get our energy back, and then that's when we went back man. I think we did pretty fine at the end.
How tough was it going last night and scoring 101 points and got to turn around and play this game tonight? I mean, that's a pretty tough back-to-back for a group.
Yeah, it was a lot because our team, we're like a lot of running. So we do a lot of running, it's a lot of fatigue. And then we just our practices were very light this week because we know we had a lot of games. So our legs were pretty dead.
You have a really tough schedule coming up. You have the Class A runner-up from a season ago on Saturday in Berlin Brothers Valley. You have Trinity next week. You guys always play Trinity, and it seems like there's been a long history between the two programs. But you're going to test yourself outside of your section now, and this might be really where you guys find out what you're all about this season.
Yep. We just got to focus on film a lot because we don't really know these guys, so we just got to focus on film and see what they do. Then hopefully we can put it together and win.
Where do you think you're at right now, though, as a team? I mean, I know you're undefeated. I know you're atop your section. I know you're atop the district standings right now. But thinking not too far ahead, how do you like where the situation you guys are in right now? Do you guys like where you're at right now?
Yeah, of course. But we still got a lot more work to do. We got to just put it together as a team and just focus on everything. We just got to stay focused and not get ahead of ourselves. Just stay together as one.
All right, congratulations on the big win here tonight. We'll see you down the line. That's Kerry Glover. He's our player of the game. 27 points tonight as Columbia wins it 76-66 over Lancaster Mennonite. Columbia goes to 11-0, 4-0 in the section. Mennonite falls to 6-4, and they are 2-1 in section play. That's going to do it for us here tonight. For my partner Warren Goodling, for Bruce Badgley, for Dell Jackson, we will talk to you next Friday night. We'll be at LS, where we see Elko and LS. That'll come your way next Friday night, 7 o'clock airtime right here, 7:30 airtime right here on LL.